And we're back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's just jump right into it. What do we start off with? We started off with, I don't remember. Whoa, sorry, I do remember. Yang and Tai. And they're sparring, get ready, whatever, whatnot. But then they sort of start talking about Yang's mom. I'm going to try to focus on the important things. There were some other points that were brought up. Not the yawning again. Oh, excuse me. This happens when it's late at night and I'm getting tired. And I start talking if I'm talking, and then I start yawning because my body's deprived of oxygen. I don't know, but it's what happens. So, anyway, here we go. Yang and Tai were sparring and practicing, and Tai was pointing out points or limitations that he noticed that Yang depends very heavily on her semblance. Now, it's true. So far, and you look at all the fights, it's majority of her using her semblance. Oh gosh. Oh, excuse me. Of her using her semblance to be able to finish off if it's against key characters like hunters or villains or other main key figures. When it's against the Grim, however, it's different. She can take care of the Grim with her weapons and her basic fighting techniques. In fact, you can actually appreciate this in the yellow trailer when she's fighting against Junior. She uses her semblance to blow up and finish everybody off. Huh. It was there from the beginning. but But they start talking about Raven, and Yang inherited a lot of traits of Raven, but not all of them, because she's. Excuse me. She's not Raven. She actually cares, is more involved from the looks of it, because Raven just up and at him and she gone. you know? Um. So, and also from the scene with Crow in the bar, Raven was pretty not interested in her daughter as much. She did help her once, and that's it. Like her focus is not really on family. It's more on strength, I guess, just the way like Ty put it. Her main focus and her main excuse me, her main focus and her main guiding points is strength, power. Um, so that's Raven. And Yang, she uses her temper to finish off key characters in fights. Now, I think her arm is amazing, and it's so cool that she's able to slowly come back. Oh, not slowly come back. She's been doing it for a week now, but she's incorporating herself back into the sequence of excuse me of the sequence of becoming a huntress or continuing to be a huntress. Will she go back to school and finish her diploma? I'm not sure. Chances are she's gonna go for the experience in the field. Um, or maybe not. Maybe she might go back eventually down the line. Who knows? But from the looks of it, I don't think so. I think school is out permanently at this point. At least for our main characters. I wish I could stop that. This is what happens when CharFox records at night. So then let's talk about Weiss. Whitley comes in And he's like, hey, you want something from the town since you know you're grounded? Because I'm so compassionate. Yes, I am. I I care so much for others, and you want some snow cones or something? Um, but then Weiss mentions something that's very interesting. Are you jealous because you don't have what I have, what Winter has? Oh my goodness. Please stop. Um, so it runs in the female side of the family. Uh, Jock doesn't have it because, of course, he's not, you know, descendant, so to say. He married into the family and then he had the children. But from the children, only the girls inherited this ability to apparently summon things. Um, Weiss brings it up. Are you jealous because you don't have it? And then he presents his position in a no, I don't really care about it, but he tries to mask it with business and enterprise and family um, company. Father, I don't have need for that. Neither does father because that's beyond us. We're businessmen. We gotta run the company. We don't need these abilities. What's the point of being a hunter when you have an army? You know, he starts running it like dismissively, like it's not as a critical thing as you might think it is, and that's I consider that to be like a form of denial. Like, oh no, I don't need that. It's not necessary. The father doesn't need it. I don't need it, because I'm father's protege, you know. Father is bringing me up and training me and teaching me the ins and outs and how to run this company, how to be a successful businessman, with tough grit and whatever whatnot. And I'm gonna go to town and meet some contacts and meet some other business people and do business. And so he's trying to use that as a way of saying this is more important than what you have. What you have, it's eh, dismissive. It's not that important, or it's not that, what's the point? And then he kind of like tips his hand a little bit when he starts asking questions because clearly either he's looking for information on how to use it to his own devices, or he does have some sort of interest in the process that Weiss is going through in her bedroom. So, with that being said, he inquires, what's the point anyway? What do you hope to accomplish? Like, what is that you're planning on doing? Why are you practicing your summoning? What are you hoping to achieve? Are you going to destroy father and me with your summon? Like, what's going on? Are you gonna launch an attack against the city? What are you planning on doing? What's the deal here? I don't understand what you're doing, but I need to know. I feel nervous. I feel uncomfortable. Tell me what you're doing. And then Weiss very effectively and very smartly shuts the door in his face. Blap. Book. Good stuff. And then she successfully summons the armor summon knight. Sure, the Rediac, but it's a smaller version, a much smaller version than what we've seen so far. That's totally acceptable. We've seen it happen before. Winter summoned a bunch of little tiny Nevermores, you know, and so Weiss is able to summon a small version of the armor. Good stuff. Good stuff. Amazing stuff. Success Finally it happened. Whereas before it was either the big, or actually it was the tiny caterpillar-sized sword, and then later on it was the arm through the portal, which was humongous. Proportions might be an issue here. Maybe bringing out something so big requires a lot of energy, and it wasn't enough. So the only thing that came through the portal was an arm with the sword, hacking and slashing. But now she got the size just right, very good, and it has an armor, and the armor kneeled. Yes, master. Point me to the enemy, and I'll take care of things. So that's awesome. Good stuff for Weiss. And then we move on to Blake and Son. Clearly, there's some history here. I suspected it from the hesitation of, you know. And then when she has Blake dead to rights, she still hesitates. And then she sounded like Pyrrha when she said she shouldn't have come back or something. It really resonated with me for some reason. But, just making my observations here. Um, and then she injures Son and she runs away. Now, there was something in the scroll that she didn't want them to see. Maybe somebody was in the phone, maybe somebody was receiving picture messages, video messages, text messages. Maybe it was a channel of communication to members of the White Fang. Maybe it had secret intel documents from the White Fang's operations or other things. I don't know if this chameleon, Ilya the Camellia, I don't know if she actually has any linkage with Salem and Cinder and Tyrion and the other two, Mustaso Man and Deep Voice Man. I don't know if she has any connection with them directly, or maybe it's through Adam, or maybe it's through members of the White Fang. I'm not exactly sure what her position in all of this is, but clearly she was either keeping an eye on Blake, or or she was keeping an eye on Blake's father, the former leader of the White Fang, considering that he has apparently still some political power, because now he's the chief of the village of Menagerie, right? So, keeping tabs, feeding intel. So I'm guessing in that scroll was information that she was sending back to headquarters, so to say. Um, that's what I suspect. Sun is injured. Crow is injured. Those are the only two injuries we got so far. Um, John is injured emotionally, but he's he's a little bit pessimistic right now. Um, so that's that. And then we move on to the final scene of Team Ranger or Team Junior or whatever you want to call it, with Nora, Ren, Joan, and Ruby, and Uncle Crow. The the chaperone, not the chaperone, the guardian. um, there is some definite history going on with these things that are happening, because it's so there. It's yelling at me constantly how Nora and Ren are interacting whenever they see something, whenever they experience something, whenever they see destruction, probably. There's this thing there that's just there, and the knowing glances that they share with each other, or the smiles when one of them does something and the other one does something else in return. There is definitely something going on. And from the looks of it, towns that end in Yuri have a bad time because Oni Yuri got destroyed, and now this new one, something Yuri, apparently got destroyed, and Ren is really adamant about it being destroyed. So clearly, there's something here that is important as far as history goes between Ren, Nora, and destroyed towns of the proximity of the kingdom of Minstrel. Right? Right. Because Haven is the academy, Minstrel is the kingdom. So there we go. Um, what is it? I'm not sure. Oh, and then we see the huge hood, the footprint looking thing. It looks like a horseshoe. Honestly, it's like upside down. A weird, very large horseshoe. I was gonna say hoof print. So we see this huge horseshoe looking footprint with a dot in the front. Yeah, I don't know. Something. Something huge because, Ruby's foot, John's foot, Thing's foot. So clearly it's pretty big. Whatever is coming down the line. This is the second time we see it. Or maybe it's been more. I've noticed too. Whatever is coming down the line, it's pretty big. It's coming. Um Wait a moment. Wait a moment. I'm trying I'm trying to remember because there was if I'm not mistaken. I'm having a hard time pulling up the image. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. 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 If I'm not mistaken, I think I think the first time we see this horseshoe looking thing, this hoof print, if I remember the scene correctly, if it's playing right in my mind, we see it with Ren looking at the ground, and the camera is like at a weird angle, and he's looking at the ground, and then Nora walks up to him, looks at it, And then she goes like her face is like, oh. Or does she just stare at it? There's something there. Yeah, if I remember correctly, Ren is looking, Nora walks up. I think she puts her hand on his shoulder or puts her hand on his back or does something that calls his attention and he looks and then she looks and then she looks and then the camera changes and we see from above the hoof print. And then I started talking about, wow, you know, are there boss Grimm in the series? So this is a boss Grimm, and the boss Grimm is around, and Ren knows about it, and Nora knows about it. I'm missing something. I'm missing something, and I don't know what it is. Why is Ren so affected by the destruction happening in the towns that end in Yuri? Oni Yuri and Keke Yuri, I think it was, or something Yuri. Yuri Town. Yuri is also the name of the girl from Doki Doki. Oh, that's funny. So, Yuri's Town. No, I just ruined it. Now I'm going to completely associate those two things together. That's funny. No, stop. Separate. Stop. Okay, no. Um, gosh, I can't stop thinking about Yuri Town, a town with Yuris on. Stop it. No. Focus. Okay, here we go. All right. So Oniyuri was destroyed, and Ren was so affected by it. He's like, oh, what always happens. Grim. You know, Oniyuri is what Mountain Glen is. Oniyuri is to Mistral what Mountain Glen is to Vale. Right, I got it. So Kekayuri. Is it Kekayuri? Names. You know, names. So the second Yuri town. So not Oniyuri is apparently destroyed because there's a big X on the map, or on the map on the town marker signal direction marker. So not Oniyuri is destroyed, and Ren seems really affected by it. Why? Why that one and not Oniyuri? Why not Oniyuri, but not Oniyuri? What makes not Oniyuri so special? To the point, all right? Let me tell you something. To the point where Nora has to kind of like intervene and be like, whoa, hold on, guys, check it out. Look, how about you two go to that town that we, for some reason, really don't want to go, and we'll go up the mountain because, hey, we like to climb. Huh? And then Ren gave Nora the knowing thanks smile. That one, you know, where he's like, you know, that one. He gave her that smile. Why? 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 Why doesn't Ren want to go to this town? Why does Nora stand up for Ren? Oh, look after each other. We always have. That's right. That's right. That's right. It's all making sense now. I think I got this. I think I'm connecting the pieces. Clearly, they were together for a very long time. Yes. Oh, it's bedtime. Got it. Okay, it's 10 o'clock. You're welcome. All right, so it's bedtime in the CharFox household. So we're going to have to switch over to the quiet communications mode. All right, so according to Nora, all right, according to Nora, she and Ren are orphans. Now, we heard about this in the Vital Festival when they're sitting in the cafeteria and Nora is like, hold on a second, there's a cable here. There we go. Okay. And Nora is like, oh no, we can't suffer humiliation because, we'll be outcasted and we don't have any family to turn to and it's just me and Ren and we're orphans. So Ren and Nora are orphans. Now the question is, how long have they been together? Have they been orphans since they were kids? Where did they meet in the adoption center? And, you know, became really close in the adoption center? These these are the questions that I'm wondering. So this is what I got, all right, and I'm gonna share with you my thoughts on this. I believe that in the town of Not Onayuri is the town where Ren and Nora met, and they were in the adoption building, right, where they had their families, their adoptive families or their foster families, if you will, and something happened that town got destroyed, all right, and everybody in the orphanage died. That's what I'm thinking. Everybody in the orphanage died except for Ren and Nora. And that's probably why Ren has a hard time returning to that town because that's where the orphanage, where his foster family was, and Nora's foster family was. And you know how they have like these houses with a bunch of kids in them, and maybe normally you have like a nun, a sister, or or sometimes you just have a foster family providing for the children. I believe, I believe that that's where the adoption house for Ren and Nora was, and this boss Grimm probably destroyed the adoption house, and that was a really bad experience for Ren because he no longer had his family, his adopt not adoptive, his like I'm trying to say like his foster family. That's what I suspect. I suspect based on all the scene, all the signs and all the yeah, the shared glances, the knowing smiles, the support, the silent support that Ren and Nora, this chemistry that they have of being there for each other. All the things that I'm picking up from this is clearly telling me that that there's a traumatic experience that these two have shared, and since they're both orphans, I'm guessing that the the adoption house where they were staying at got destroyed. That's what I suspect. um, I think that's it. I'm gonna leave it here so that I have time to upload the video because it is now 10:14 at night and I'm getting really close to not making my deadline. So so let's leave it here for now. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate everything that you do and all of your support. You guys are truly awesome and I appreciate everything that you do. So until next time, take care. Mouse on the button. There we go. Right. Take care and bye bye. ふわふわふわふわふわふわりくるくるくるくるくるくる回るのふわふわふよふよふわふわりうるるくるくるふわふわ飛び出したの